beer barbecue. When I was a kid, we fished all the time for trout with spinners and corn and worms, and we fished ponds for bass and sunfish, and we fished the surf down the shore for fluke with squid parts and shrimp, and chased tiger muskies and smallmouth with perch that we caught up on the flats near Instanter on little pieces of worm in the morning, and we kept them alive in an old cooler filled with water and an aerator clipped into the boat's cranking battery. We fly fish too sometimes with what I remember as heavy fiberglass rods. My grandfather would run the pontoon boat to the end of a cove, and we'd walk up the creek catching 5-inch brook trout, and he'd keep 50 of them and hide 45 under the ice in the beer cooler and have the 5 biggest ones on top in plain sight. One summer he shot a bear with a Mini 14 that kept breaking into his back porch, and we cut the claws off of it with tin snips. One summer we ate a woodchuck. In high school, I wanted to be an extreme skier, a mountaineer, a whitewater kayaker. I hung pages from the Patagonia catalog on my bedroom wall. We skied in the Poconos, and once a year we'd go to Vermont, and eventually I got to ski in Utah and Jackson Hole, but I was never going to be that guy. I was too fat, too unathletic, and too scared. At some point in my 20s, I realized that fly fishing provided a lot of what I was looking for without the death-defying adrenaline and peak human physical fitness. Time outdoors, on rivers, in mountains, collecting lots of specialized gear, collecting Gore-Tex, being rugged, becoming a feared stereotype on dating websites in my mid-30s, the guy holding a fish in his profile pic. But fishing was something I was decent at and something I enjoyed doing. It was also an excuse to hang out with people, to travel, to do things. And as I got older, it was a way to distract myself from my impending doom. I've also met a lot of people through fly fishing. People like the guys in this video. In fact, I don't think I've made a real friend as an adult any other way. My fly landed tight to the grass that bushed out over the river and guarded the undercut bank. I flicked a bit of slack in the line and the fly drifted naturally, and the uneasy feeling of anticipation welled up inside of my stomach, and I sucked my penis and testicles inside my body unconsciously, a perfectly natural protective instinct against potentially impending chaos. The fish slid out and almost audibly slurped the fly, and I paused and lifted and came tight, and Ben pumped his fist and said, "Nice, dude, great eat." And I smiled and laughed and said, "Yeah, this is fucking great." You-know-who called me broke down in Kansas last summer and asked if he could have his rig towed to my house in Denver. He said he didn't have anywhere else to go. Could he crash on the couch? He's got his dog with him. "No worries," I said. "Come on out, dude. I know it's been a rough couple months." 2 weeks later, and he's still on the couch, but the truck's finally running, and the welcome's worn out, but he doesn't have any money, so I had to buy him a tank of gas to get him to leave. And I threw in a pack of Camels because I'm a nice guy, and I said, "I forgot you like to smoke Camels almost as much as I do. And you like to chew Copenhagen almost as much as I do. I forgot that you like to dwell on death almost as much as I do." And then I sang to him, I sang, "Soothe our spirits, sweet, sweet pills. Help me ignore all the demons." Did you hear our friend from Texas got divorced? After taking care of her through breast cancer, right? I know, it was brutal. He got a Tinder the day after, and he says he's never had this much sex in his life. Apparently in your late 40s, you just need to be average looking, have a job, be able to hold a normal conversation, and not have a fish in your profile pic. How's his gout, though? Oh, it's still really bad. It turns out life is just one big death cult. The days go by like pages in a book, an overly rapid oblivion approach. The creases in the binding are hard things broached, but we've still got our deathbed epilogues bespoke to look forward to talk about, to get right, to get that one last thing right. He's really gonna show us all how to die.
Ass cheek.